Hey guys, so I've been messing around with Shader Graph a little bit over the past day, and basically what I've been trying to do is make it so that when a condition is met, uh, then we're going to have an object turn black and then dissolve, and then after it's dissolved, we're going to destroy it. And I finally achieved that. So let's talk about how I did it a little bit. So here is our Shader Graph. And we're taking some simple noise, plugging it into the emission in the alpha channel, but we're going to have basically a static value currently because we're going to plug in our dissolve value to begin with. But just to give you an idea about how this is going to work, if we plug in an undulating value, such as sine time, this is how the effect looks, right? Let me just make this a bit bigger. Okay, so as you can see, it's going to go in and out of existence. The problem with having the shader work the way that it's currently working is that if you were to apply the shader through code, it's going to start at basically a random point inside of the shader. So it could start, let's say here, so you see it come into existence and then go back out. Or it could start halfway dissolved, or it could start completely transparent and then come into view and then get destroyed. I mean, that's just not how you would want it to work. And so what we're doing here instead, we're going to take out that time. We're plugging in a float value that we've gotten through our Blackboard here. And we're going to modify this float value through code. And then we've also gotten a base color here. And what this base color allows us to do is whenever we change that through code, we can decide whatever, I mean, you could do a bunch of things with it, but what we're doing in this example is that we're going to change the albedo of the material whenever it starts dissolving. Okay? So let's talk about our script a little bit. So here we have an array of renderers, which you can actually assign in the editor. You can go in there and add however many renderers you want. Currently, in this version of the script, the renderer that the object is on already has to have the shader applied. But then we have a private bool for is dissolving. It's going to start out as false. We have the current dissolve value and the target dissolve value, which are going to be used down here in a lerp to make basically transitions between these two values using a third value. And then we have a private float here called dissolve start time. I'll explain that a little bit more as we move on. So if the player clicks, then we're going to set is dissolving to equal to true. We're going to set dissolve start time to equal whatever the time was when they clicked. Okay. And then for each one of the renderers inside of this array, we're going to set the color of their material to equal whatever color you want it to be. So if you wanted this to be white, you could make it 255, 255, 255. But for me, because I want it to be black, we're making it 000. These are just the RGB values. And then here, whenever is dissolving is equal to true, which is up here, it's going to happen whenever we click, we're going to start changing current dissolve value to equal this equation that I was talking about earlier. And the reason that we're multiplying our value here, our 1f, multiplied by time.delta time, is because we want this to be frame independent. So, we don't want the dissolve to happen instantly if somebody's playing at 120 frames per second, and we don't want it to happen incredibly slowly if somebody's playing on 10 frames per second. Okay? And here, every single frame in which is dissolving is equal to true, we're going to set our renderer material. We're going to set that float that we assigned earlier, and I'll talk a little bit about why these are such strange names. But we're going to set that to the current dissolve value. And then, if dissolving is equal to true, and time.time, or the current time that the game has been running, is greater than the dissolve start time, which we assigned up here whenever we clicked, plus 1.5 seconds, then we destroy whatever the script is on. At least that's the way it's set up right now. You'd probably have to set up an array of game objects as well if you're going to actually use this to control a larger system. But now that we've done that, let's go in the inspector. 3 is the one that we have it on currently. So as you can see, our dissolve value is set to 1 right now. So everything is perfectly solid. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. But if we were to modify this, then we could make it go in and out of existence, which is effectively what we're doing in our script. But this base color, this is an interesting one. Because this is going to be the default until we start dissolving, you can make this whatever you want. So, I mean, for the sake of this little exercise, why don't we make it purple? Okay, cool. And then I did mention that I was going to talk about those weird string names. So inside of your shader graph, each one of those properties that we made is going to be assigned a string from Unity. And you actually have to access them through the string that Unity provides instead of the name of the float, or the name of whatever the property was. Just because that's what Unity wants you to do. I don't know what to tell you other than that. But yeah, so that's why in our script we have such strange string names, because our color is equal to the string that Unity has assigned to this base color variable. And our dissolve value is set to this float. Okay. So if we were to play, nothing happens, right? Everything is hunky-dory. But if we click, this cube is going to turn black. It's going to begin dissolving. And then 1.5 seconds after we clicked, it's going to destroy the object. And you can tweak that value to be however long, basically, it takes to fully disappear. So let's go ahead and do that. And as you can see, click, dissolve, disappear. Click, dissolve, delete. And that's basically it. That's how I've solved this little problem. Hopefully that helped you guys out and taught you a little bit something about assigning property values to shader graphs through script. Thank you for watching. See you.